Today I'm going to show you the 7-step storytelling framework that Netflix and your favorite movies are using to keep your attention, and how you can use these same 7 steps to grow your business with storytelling. For those of you that are new here, I'm Devin Rodriguez, and I'm the founder of Storypreneur, a company that teaches business owners how to leverage storytelling to scale their business and to sell with ease. Now, what I'm about to share with you, I want you to know, I don't care if you're an introvert, extrovert, what your past history is, if you don't think that you can deliver a story, the framework that I'm about to share with you is literally the same exact framework that's used by your favorite speakers, by all your favorite shows, all your movies, every book you've read. It follows this same framework, and I developed this framework simply by studying stories. So this right here, what I'm about to share, can be used by you and everybody else. So I recommend that you share this video or this podcast with everybody so that they can get their hands on it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first C, because we're talking about the 7 C's of what I call my ultimate storytelling framework, the first C that every story has is a relatable main character. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, think of your favorite Netflix show. Chances are there is a character, a main character that you just love. Now, you don't know why, but you feel like you know the person on a personal level. Despite never meeting them, you feel like, oh boy, I can understand what they're going through. Or even you feel like they understand you. You feel like there's this personal relationship there. Now, when you're sharing your own personal story or a story in your business, a lot of the times you're going to be the relatable main character. Now, there's something to keep in mind when we're talking about this relatable main character. 99% of the time, every great story, there is a relatable main character that has a goal, meaning that they're going after something. There's a pursuit, there's a chase. That is what makes the story interesting. Imagine if there was no goal, there was just a story and didn't really have anything to go after. It wouldn't really make much sense. I like using the show Ozark. Ozark is a show that's about a family that got messed up with a drug cartel, and now they're trying to run away from this drug cartel. And they're always having a new goal. And what makes it so interesting is that goal. It's like high impact, high energy. The good news is you can use that in your stories as well. But notice what I said there. Before I said goal, I said that there is a relatable main character. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that whenever you're sharing a story, the first step is to really get clear on who your audience is. Because if you're not clear on who the audience is, you can never relate to them. And when you're sharing your personal story or a story in your business, it's your job and responsibility to enable the audience to feel understood. Because the customer, the client, will invest their hard-earned money into companies and into people that make them feel understood. So if you're not super crystal clear on who your client, who your audience, or who your customer is, that's the first thing you really have to do before diving into these 7 C's. But let's go back to the first one, the relatable main character who has a goal. Now, obviously, when you're sharing a story, one of the tangible things you got to do is kind of tell the audience what your goal is. I wanted to go off and make $1 million. I wanted to start my new business. Whatever it is, let the audience know. But also lay the foundation of what prompted you to set that goal in the first place. Now, why is this so important? Because it's going to relate back to your audience. Your audience might be in that place right now where you once started. For example, you could say something like, I had to set this goal of earning $1 million because I was just sick and tired of being broke. That subconsciously speaks to the audience, and they're like, oh, that guy was once where I was, and it makes them feel understood. So give them a little background information about what prompted you to set the goal in the first place, because then that's going to form that trust and rapport right off the jump. The second C in storytelling is that once the relatable main character starts pursuing the goal, inevitably there's some sort of challenge. There's some obstacle, there's something that comes up that stops the main character from achieving their goal effortlessly. I mean, think about it. Any single story throughout history, all of your favorite Netflix shows are interesting because there's all of those twists and turns. There would not be a story if there was not some type of challenge. One of my favorite is The Pursuit of Happiness. I love that movie. And let's think about it. Main character in that movie, Will Smith. Why is he relatable? Because a lot of people that watch the movie have gone through some stuff like that in their personal life where they maybe struggled with their own finances. What happens? Well, he loses his medical devices, he gets kicked out of his house, and now he's sleeping in a subway station with his son. Why does this make it interesting? Well, now there's a big turn of events. What's going to happen with Will Smith and his son? Are they going to stay homeless forever? What is going to happen? Now let's bring this back to you as the business owner. This is extremely important for you because as you share your journey or your company's journey, you have to say, okay, this was my goal, but then I hit these obstacles. Why is this so important? Because your audience, your potential clients, your prospects, chances are they might be at that position right now. They might be going through these obstacles right now. So if you want to build trust, rapport, a deep sense of understanding, you have to be vulnerable to share those challenges. What was that for you? But here is the third C to storytelling that's arguably the most important. So number one, there's the character. Number two, there is the challenge. Number three, there is the conflict. Now, you can either say conflict or pain. I'm going to stick with pain. Take conflict if you want it. But the challenge causes two types of pain. And this is super, super, super important. So if you're multitasking, come back to me for just 1 minute. The first type of pain is what we call an external pain. External pain is simply, I lost my job. Now I don't have money. Okay, so the challenge was I lost my job. The external pain is I don't have money. But let's go back to the pursuit of happiness, for example. His challenge was he lost his medical devices, lost his job, had no income. What was the external pain? Now I can't pay my rent. I don't have a house to live in. I got no money. But there's one type of pain that's super duper important, way more important than the external type of pain. Now, let me preface this by saying the reason why you want to share this second type of pain is because the stories that you and your business share with the world, those experiences are unique to you. But the lessons that these stories teach have to be universal for the entire audience. So don't feel like just because you have an experience that's super unique to you, you can't share it. No, you absolutely can. But it's your responsibility to share it in a way that it teaches a universal lesson. So going back to what I was saying, the first type of pain is the external pain. Now I don't have my money because I lost my job. But here's what the audience will relate to. They won't relate to the external pain. Maybe some will, but everyone will relate to the internal pain. But it's all in how you frame it. So listen to what I'm going to say. I had this goal of providing my family with a wonderful life, financial freedom, traveling the world, but then I lost my job. That's the challenge. And when I lost my job, all of my income dissipated. That's the external pain. And it really sucked. But what was even more than that, listen to my terminology here. That's very important. This is how you transition from the external pain to the internal pain. But even more than that, it made me feel like I wasn't a good parent, like I wasn't able to provide for my children, and it ate me up inside. I had these thoughts of, what am I going to do? I felt hopeless. Time out. Why am I saying that? Why am I telling them my internal conversations? This is key, guys. To share with the audience the internal conversations that you had when you were going through your pain. Why is that? Because the audience is probably having similar internal conversations right now. So when you share the internal conversations you had, that shows the audience, this is a guy that really understands me, or this is a girl that really understands me. And they're going to want to invest their hard-earned dollars in you. So see how I took an external experience of I lost my job. Not everyone in the audience probably lost their job, but everyone in the audience probably in a position sometime either in the present or in the past where they felt hopeless. They didn't know what to do. Maybe they didn't feel like a good parent. They didn't know how they were going to provide. So once again, the experience is unique to you, but the internal conversations, the lessons are universal to all. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth C. The fourth C is the crossroads. What I mean when I say the crossroads is in every story, there comes a point where enough is enough. You know what I'm talking about? In Pursuit of Happiness, it's when Chris Gardner says, I can't do this anymore. I cannot continue to go to these homeless shelters. I cannot continue to stay in these subway stations trying to sleep in a bathroom with my son. It's where he goes and he says, you know what? Enough is enough. And the crossroads presents itself in two ways. I either go left or I either go right. I either quit or I keep going. I stay with the person or I leave the person. I go to college, I don't go to college. I drop out, I stay in. There's always two options at the crossroads. So for you in your personal story, what is the crossroads? What's the moment when enough was enough? Why are you sharing this with the audience? If you couldn't tell, This entire framework revolves around helping the audience know that you're the person that they should trust. So when you share your crossroads moment where enough is enough, damn it, I can't do it anymore. Why is that so important? Because the audience might be at that position right now, or they've already been there, or they're going there. So you're speaking to who they are on the inside. So share that. Share the moment where enough was enough. But not only that, I need you to go a little bit deeper than that. And I need you to describe to the audience the internal conversations you had. I just sat there and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick and tired of living my life this way. That's what you have to share with the audience. Because what we do as master storytellers is we reflect back to the audience the internal conversations that they're probably having right now. That's something that's pretty advanced, and I hope you caught that. So at the crossroads, this is where you make a decision. So the next step in the process, number 5, is going to be consequence. As a result of the decision that was made at the crossroads, there's always some type of consequence. Pretty much what happened. So it's your job to share with the audience what was the result of this. Pretty straightforward, right? Number 6 is contemplate. You have to contemplate what is the lesson that I learned from this story. Because my mentor shared with me one time, he said, Devin, you never tell a story without a point, and you never tell a point without a story. So what is the lesson that you learned throughout all of this? What was the personal lesson? Now we come to number 7, which is really important because nobody cares about you when they're listening to you. If you want someone to buy your products and services and you just talk about you the whole time, they're not going to care and they're not going to buy. You need to show them that you understand them and that this presentation is not about you, but it's about them. So it's not enough to just share what you learned. Now you have to go on to number 7, which is clarify. And clarify what is the lesson for the audience. Pretty simple, right? The lesson for you might have been, I have to work super hard on finding a new job. And it's only when you seek out opportunities that they will come to you. Now, how do you turn that around and make that a lesson for the audience? Let me give you an example. I'll start by number 6, where I'm contemplating my own personal lesson. And I sat there after I realized that I had this success now and all that I had gone through. I had learned that it is my responsibility to seek out opportunities and that they will not just mysteriously come to me out of the blue. Here's the takeaway for you. Here's what you can get from this. Here's what I need you to do. See the different terminology, the different phrases that I use? We call those transition phrases. So you might be in the position right now where you're struggling to find that steady paycheck. You're struggling right now to grow your business. The lesson that I want to share with you today is that you have to be proactive. Seek opportunity because opportunity will not just come to you. So you see what I did there? I turned the lesson from this is what I learned to this is the lesson for the audience. So it's pretty simple. So let's recap and get the heck out of here because I know you're busy. You got to go grow your business. Step number 1 is to have a relatable main character who has a goal. Number 2, the relatable main character comes across a challenge. The challenge causes 2 types of conflict or pain, internal conflict and external conflict. Then eventually the main character just can't do it no more. They come to a crossroads where they have to make a decision. The decision leads to a consequence. The consequence leads to the main character coming to a point where they contemplate at the end of their journey and say, what did I learn? And then the magic in this is we clarify what is the lesson for the audience. So these 7 steps, the 7 C's to storytelling, this is what Netflix is using to capture people's attention all around the world. And this ultimate storytelling formula right here is the same exact formula that you can use to capture your audience's attention and turn them and convert them into paying clients. So this is it right here, the ultimate storytelling formula. And if you want to get your hands on this, and I walk you step by step on the back of this through a guided exercise, all you have to do is go to ultimatestorytellingformula.com and you can get your hands on this absolutely free of charge. And the link is down below to go and do that. So thank you for being here. I hope you took something away. I'll see you on the next one.